So our agenda for today, we are really going to be focusing primarily on our APC Student Advocacy Day, which is next week. Quick show of hands, how many people are actually going to be coming up to Albany next week to join us? Yay, I'm seeing lots of hands. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, oh, that's awesome. We have a lot going on. It's going to be a very busy 2 days. Not only is it going to be a very busy 2 days for all of you, but there is a lot happening coincidentally next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know if everybody knows, but in order to become a lawyer here in New York State and practice in New York State, you have to come to Albany to take the bar exam. Guess when that's happening? Yes, next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. So you'll be seeing a lot of folks wandering around with plastic baggies, a lot of stuff going on. There's also a couple other really big groups that are coming up. So it's just going to be mobbed. That's all I'm going to say. It's just going to be mobbed. But we think it's really important. That's why we do these calls beforehand, just to kind of give you guys some of the lay of the land before you get here, so you have a little bit of an understanding of what to expect. So we're going to talk about logistics first. I'm going to start off with the logistics, where we're going to meet, what we're going to do, where we're going to go, that kind of thing. Let me just let a few more folks in. Where we're going to go, that kind of thing. We're going to talk about legislative meetings. That's why I'm going to turn it over to Janet and her team. They have been making all of your meetings and setting up your schedules. So they're going to talk a little about who you might want to meet with, what the messaging should look like, what you should be talking about. And also we're going to go over what APC's priorities are. We will have leave behinds and materials for all of you, but it's just good to kind of get that update ahead of time. And then we're going to turn it over to Team CPC to talk about using social media on your way here, the student videos that we're going to be doing in 711A, and then also the special project we've got going on, a day in the life of an APC member student. So I'm sorry, I'm going to let a few more folks in. There comes Heather. Okay, so let's get started. So what's going to happen next week? So you all, if you're a student, you should be working with your institution's liaison to make sure you have your travel arrangements all set. You should all already have rooms set at the Renaissance Hotel. That is right here. We are all right here in the middle of downtown Albany. When you get to the hotel, you'll actually be able to see the Capitol building. You'll be able to see the LOB, where you'll be doing all of your meetings. Like I said yesterday, there's a lot going on. The Renaissance Hotel is a very busy hotel. A lot of the groups that are coming in are staying there. So a lot of really cool stuff happening. We are going to start at 4 p.m. with a boot camp. Janet and her team are going to lead that. They're going to talk about your schedules for the next day. They're going to talk about messaging. They're going to talk about the leave behinds and the materials. But we will be there. Claire and I will probably be there sometime earlier in the afternoon, setting up with registration. So if you're an institution liaison, feel free to stop by and grab your materials early. We will be there to welcome you probably from about 1 o'clock on. So feel free to stop over, get your registration materials, get everything together. But be sure to be in the DeWitt Ballroom by 4 p.m. because that's when the boot camp kicks off. From 5 to about 8 p.m., we're going to do our special reception and networking dinner. This is always a fun event. Every year we have invited the legislature to stop by. So at any point in time, we could have assemblymen and senators wandering around, meeting you, saying hello. It's always a really good time stopping in for a drink or some dinner. So we will be doing that on Tuesday. Wednesday is really the big long day. We get up early. Breakfast will be available at the Renaissance Hotel. We're going to be in a place called The Shelf. You'll see where that is. It's up on the second floor for breakfast. Around 8:30, we start walking you up to the Legislative Office building. Once you get through security, we have a room that we've reserved, 711A, in the LOB that you can go to. You can drop your coats. You can pick up extra materials if you want. That's where lunch is going to be. And that's really where, if you have any questions or if you get lost or if something seems crazy, just come back to 711A and we can reorient you and get you back on your way. So from 9 to about 3 p.m., we've set up the legislative appointments. And lunch will be as per your schedule. You'll see it. We've kind of staggered lunch. You may have to break into a couple of groups and have a few of you stop off and do lunch at one point, and then a few in your group stop off and do lunch at a different point. We have set the meetings up as groups by institution. So, your institution liaison will have your full schedule. They'll be able to walk you through. If the liaisons need additional help, we will have other staff there as well to walk you up to appointments to, if you're at the Capitol building can be a little confusing. LOB is pretty straightforward, but I have got myself lost in the Capitol building. So, maybe a member of Janet or her team can walk you over if you have meetings over there. But 9 to 3, also during that 9 to 3 time period, we have scheduled in, you'll see on your schedules, we have scheduled in time for you to come to 711A to do your videos. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But really, it's just going to be a jam-packed day. I actually have this on a slide later, but I will also reiterate it now. Wear comfortable shoes. Today is not the day for your 4-inch heels. So wear comfortable shoes. Make sure you've got comfortable clothing on, comfortable shoes. Obviously, dress professionally, but make sure that you're comfortable because you're going to be on your feet. You're going to be walking. It's going to be very busy, very jam-packed day. I've taken a look at the draft schedules, and you are all booked back to back to back to back. The meetings are about a half an hour long. So you guys are going to have a very busy day, but it's going to be a ton of fun. So any thoughts or questions? I do see some stuff popping up in the chat box. Is there any questions coming up in there that I need to address, or if you feel free to unmute if you have any questions?
I don't see any questions in the chat, but they may have some they want to unmute for.
Got it. All right. Anybody have any thoughts or questions? No. All right. Let's keep going then. All right. I'm going to just go over some quick tips and tricks, and then Janet, I'll turn it over to you. First of all, be prompt and well-dressed. We're going to give you a schedule. Wear the comfortable shoes. See, I told you that was coming up on a slide moving forward. Be prompt. We do have very jam-packed schedules. The numbers are there. If you're not going to make a meeting, please make sure you let the office know. But really just try to be prompt. Try to be aware of the time. Like I said, the schedules are back to back. But hopefully you should be able to get to every single one of them. Be organized, be articulate when you're telling your story, be personable, be yourself. Remember that the folks that you're meeting with are just people like yourself, right? They want to hear from you. They want to hear your story. And speak from personal experience. What does TAP mean to you? How has it influenced your life? What has your college and university done to support you? Start thinking about some of these things before you get here. And maybe start thinking of a little script in your head of what you would like to say when it's your turn to talk. But that is really just sort of some tips and tricks about, how to go through these meetings. Any thoughts or questions for me before I turn it over? No? Okay. Then Janet and Heather, you want to take it away?
Sure. So this is Heather. I'm Heather with Hinman Straub, and talk a little bit about what your schedules are looking like. So we targeted our request for meetings into 4 buckets. The first is asking for meetings with committee members of the Higher Education Committee. So obviously we're here talking about tuition assistance programs. We're talking about your colleges and your universities, you as students attending them. And we want to make sure we're talking to policymakers who are members of the Higher Education Committee because they have the most direct oversight into the issues that you're going to be talking about. The second 2 targets are members of either the Ways and Means Committee, and these are assembly members, or with the Finance Committee, and these are senators who deal with the finances of the state budget. So these are the people who are addressing anything related to money. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about in terms of the tuition assistance program is a budgetary conversation. Looking for additional advancements, investments in this program is something that members of this committee would also be interested in. So we've requested meeting with those folks. And then we've looked to meet with legislators who are from your college catchment area. So if if your school's on Long Island, we're going for members in Suffolk and Nassau County and asking them to meet with you. So that's how the targets were identified. Every once in a while, you might meet with people who are nowhere near your college. They might be from upstate New York, and that might be because they're a member of the higher education committee. And so you're talking to them in that capacity, not necessarily from a local community perspective. We're going to talk about a variety of issues that are important to the APC community, and want to really reiterate what Donna was talking about is really making sure you're speaking from your own perspective on your own personal involvement with your college, and if you're receiving tuition assistance or Pell, those types of things. So, you're going to talk less about necessarily like hardcore policy and more about what your personal experience is as to why it's important to be supporting colleges like APC. Oh, I should know. I'm so sorry. I should know some of you, sorry. Some of you may also meet with various staff, people who manage committees. You might be meeting with someone from the Division of Budget. You may be on the team that's meeting with a representative from the governor's office or from program and council, the staff people who work on these issues. So trickled into your schedule, you may have an opportunity to meet with some of these other type of folks. They're not necessarily legislators, but they're the staff that are behind the scenes doing a lot of the work related to the policies we're interested in. And now I'm done.
Okay.
So maybe I can run through, our priorities this year. So we are really focusing on, keeping college affordable and making sure we support our state-run financial aid programs. And so even if you are a student who does not receive a tuition assistance program, part of our advocacy, right, is for all students, whether it's students attending APC institutions or across New York. And since the state has a very generous scholarship program, we always focus on that. But new this year, we're also talking about graduate programs, right? And so many of you are currently in your undergraduate degrees, but there are some upcoming changes to federal student loans that are going to impact graduate programs. And right now, our tuition assistance program is only for undergrad students. And so we think it's time that New York thinks about supporting graduate students, right? So for any of you who are undergrads right now, you're going to want that support if at some point you decide you want a graduate degree. So we've, in years past, have talked about graduate TAP. We're going to continue to talk about that, but we're also, talking about state-run loan programs and other things that, really more details for the Hinman APC team, but for the students, it's all about keeping college affordable. Another priority that we have again this year is there's a disparity in the tuition assistance program, whether you are a dependent or independent student. And that may seem silly, right? So a dependent student is somebody whose parents claim you on their taxes, or somebody can claim you as a dependent, versus an independent student who doesn't have that support. The independent student gets less money. And so we think there should be parity so that students have the same access to the tuition assistance program. And we're also focusing on, again, loan programs and scholarship programs. And so the state, has this program that allows individuals to come back to complete degrees, which is great, but it only applies to SUNY and CUNY. And so we think that should apply to all sectors, including APC. And new this year is an expansion of nursing that would allow people who are getting an associate's degree to be able to get that for free at a community college. But again, we think that that should be equitable across all sectors. So those are kind of our priorities. But like Heather said, it really is your personal story. We're going to have the leave behind. Donna's testifying next Tuesday at the higher ed budget. We're going to be advocating specifically on the priorities, but the purpose of bringing you all here is so that you can shine and tell your story about your wonderful institution and, what you want to share with elected officials about your personal journey, or, if you do get a TAP award or a Pell award and how that is important to you. And we're going to go over this in a lot more detail on the boot camp on Tuesday night. We just wanted to give you some high level overview of what we're going to be advocating on this year. Are there any questions on that? What Heather went through or that I went through? Excellent.
No?
Okay.
All right. It's a good group. All right, then we're going to turn it over to the Corning Place folks to talk about social media and using communication. So I will turn it over to Sam and Nicole.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam from Corning Place Communications. We help to support APC with all of their communications needs and work closely with the Hinman Straub team on throughout the year, but also around Student Lobby Day. And today we just want to encourage you to think about and look into the kinds of social media posts that you can do leading up to you coming to Albany next week, as well as throughout your time here during meetings, after meetings, sharing some, whether there's selfies on the train or when you get to Albany, meeting with people from other schools during the reception, just continuing to use your own platforms, tagging the APC social media accounts, using a hashtag APC for TAP. And all of this will be information that we'll share with a virtual advocacy guide as well. So no need to frantically write it all down now, but we will be able to share some examples of posts that have been used in the past. And this just helps to give a little bit of a personal spin on your trip and your perspective when you're in Albany. And it will help continue to layer our messaging through your social media platforms, your individual school social media platforms, and then we'll be able to share those through APC and can either amplify it by tagging the members that you met with or who you're going to meet with, but just continuing to keep those touch points and give a personal spin. So kind of what we were talking about before in those meetings, also thinking about your story and how you want to personalize your trip to Albany with us. So as I said, we will share a pretty helpful guide, but it's important in the meetings and on social media, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're comfortable using, to be genuine and really share what's important about the visit that you're having. And some students from previous years may already have seen people do this in action. Last year, we had a couple of people that were really on top of it outside of every doorway in every meeting that we're sharing after, and we'd really love to see more people get involved with that this year. I believe Nicole is here and she can speak to the video.
Hi, everybody. So thank you for joining. I took a look at some of the submissions from the Day in the Life videos that we had talked about in our last meeting. They're looking good. If you don't remember last meeting, we talked about filming a social media day in the life of you as a student at your university or your school, talking about your experiences, what you're doing, if you're doing internships, what classes you're taking, and if you are using financial aid, like how that's helping you afford your semesters. So don't forget to get those in. I can drop the Google form link to submit it into the chat box in just a minute here. And then looking forward at next week, Donna had mentioned that we'll have 711A, which is the room on the 7th floor of the Legislative Office building, to sort of act as a home base. I will be up there next week with a big Step and Repeat banner, and we'll have an APC branded microphone, and you guys will be able to record videos there about what you guys are up to at the Lobby Day, but also, you know, why it's important in general. We will have scripts for you guys to review at the boot camp that you can take back to your hotel rooms. And if you want to practice, you can practice. If you want to go off the cuff, and you feel like a news anchor, go for it, right? So we'll have those for you next week. We can customize them to your own personal experiences. And this is all part of that layered approach of layering your voices and your social media channels along with APC's social media channels to really create like a chorus of media and text and everything. So if anyone has any questions, we can, certainly help out with that, but we will be ready to go next week.
Awesome. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to actually stop sharing because we don't really need to look at that. All right. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions?
I have a quick question, Donna. So we have two other alum that are going to be joining us next week. So I wanted to know, would they be able to do their videos? Should they wait till Advocacy Day to do it, or could they still do it beforehand? Because we just kind of found out about this information.
Sure, sure. Which videos are we talking about? Because we will be doing our own videos on site, but
Okay,
the day in the life.
life. Yes, the day in the life.
No. Yeah, no, they can do that whenever they get it ready and would like to do it.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
If since they're alumni, if they want to talk about their like experience since they've graduated and how it's helped, that would be sort of a better way to frame it. And then there's two buckets of videos. There's the day in the life video, and there's the actual videos that we'll be recording during the lobby day next week.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody else have any other questions? Heather just popped in there a link to our YouTube channel so you can see some of our past, thank you, Heather, past videos that we've done. Anybody want to unmute and maybe practice what you might want to say when you are in a sitting in a legislator's office? How would you introduce yourself? Anybody? Because I will call on people. I will call on people. I have been known to do that. Anybody want to volunteer? No? Okay. Well, then we're going to have to call on some folks. Daria, I'm so sorry. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. How do you pronounce your name, first of all? Let me make sure I get it right.
You said it right.
I did? Okay, great.
So I would say my first and last name, what college I'm attending, where I'm from, what I'm majoring in,
Mm-hmm.
and why I'm with APC.
Mm-hmm. And what are the answers to those questions? I would love to hear. What are you studying? When will you graduate? What are you thinking you might do with your degree?
I'm studying fashion merchandising and marketing.
Awesome.
I go to LIM. I'm from Manhattan, and I was able to pursue that opportunity of going to school in the city through the TAP scholarship, which is why I chose to advocate for affordable schooling with APC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What was it about LIM that attracted you to attend there?
The scholarships they gave me too. I also really wanted to be in the city, and I just liked how small it was, so I was going to get a lot of attention, and those kind of reasons.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. Is there anything else that you would want to share?
No, that's it.
No? Okay. All right. How about someone else? Somebody else want to raise their hand? Any of the school liaisons that are on that have done this before want to offer a couple words of advice?
I'll do it, Donna. So
Go ahead.
I did it before. It was actually in the beginning, you're a little intimidated, maybe the first go round, but you just actually be yourself. You're just human beings. I introduced myself because I am an alum, but I do work for the college, and I explained the importance of TAP. At the time, it was Turn on the Tap. So I explained how it benefited me, had also benefited my daughter. I got to know some of the constituents. They shared some of their stories with us, and it was just basic casual conversations. I spoke about some of the programs that we have and how some of the students that were part-time students didn't get some of the same advantages of the students that were full-time with the TAP assistance program. So it was a lot of just basic conversation, sharing stories about my own journey at Plaza College and how the tuitions assistance program benefited me and my daughter when she eventually went to college, and how it's something that should be extended to students on a part-time level. So it was just basic conversation, but it was actually in the beginning you are a little bit nervous, but I guess after you go through each meeting, the nerves kind of go down. You kind of get used to it.
Yeah. It's interesting too, I will say, because you're traveling around as a group, right? And so you kind of get to know, sorry, I'm just letting one more person in. You kind of get to know everybody else in your group, right? I mean, it's interesting because you're broken down by institution. So you would think that you should be pretty familiar with the other folks but in your group, but sometimes you're not. And but you get to know them really well. And I've seen where they start out and you do a meeting or two together, and then you get to like the third or the fourth meeting, and one student will say to the other student, oh, don't forget to say, oh, you should ask about this because it's really pretty cool. So it just, that's just something to, to keep in mind, is that it does get a little easier as the day goes on. It is definitely a little intimidating initially, but it's also a lot of fun. So how about another student? Anybody else want to unmute and talk a little about themselves, introduce yourselves? How about, can I have Nicola from CW? Are you able to unmute? I know you've got your camera off and that's fine, but can you unmute and say a few words?
Hi, everyone. I'm multitasking.
That's okay. No worries.
Yeah, I would definitely say why I chose CW is also because it's a small college and the attention that I require as a older person, the flexibility in schedule, and the close proximity to where I live are one of the reasons why I chose CW. And most importantly, the classes offered. So I'm currently a chef who wants to combine my years experience working in corporate kitchens with mental health. So I'm currently studying, what am I studying, Zana? Human services. Listen, I get brain fart sometimes. Human services. And how CW has helped me is most of my classes so far, I feel like they are designed to help me develop this crazy program that I have in my head. And I feel really special because each class so far, it's so unique to what I want, using my past and my present to create a future. And that's important. Now, I am an independent student, and I also have a dependent who's my son, who is in college. And yes, I see the disparities in the loans and grants offered. And yes, so talking about that, I have to do more research on that. So I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't realize it was a concern, but I think being called on the spot, that's where my head is at right now.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Now, my question, do you have any feedback that, if anything else I should add to what I just said?
When are you graduating, Nicola?
I should be done next year this time.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
wonderful.
Thank you. And so how are you planning to marry the two? The mental health with the, with the corporate kitchens, and what are you thinking about doing?
So right now I'm an entrepreneur. I have been an entrepreneur for most of my life. My brand is called Chef Mom, and I'll be creating Chef Mom Therapeutic Kitchen Beyond the Plate. So it's using the kitchen and cooking classes, using the 5 senses in grounding people, especially suffering from depression, PTSD, and veterans. And it also can be used for corporate teams to create cohesiveness, collaboration, and also for families coming back from my experience as a kid growing up in Jamaica, where the kitchen was the heart of the home. So for families, bringing people back into the kitchen where we can get the hard conversations starting. And it's also a life skill.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fabulous. I love
Thank
that
you.
idea. I love that idea. And no, I mean, I think what you said was spot on. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in, but you know, just introducing yourself, your name, where you're from, why you chose the institution you chose, what you're planning to do. I mean, those are all really good things to you know, to talk about. So that was awesome. That was great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anybody on from Berkeley who'd like to unmute? Heather, I don't know. Anybody you could use? Do you want to unmute? for a little bit?
Sure. Asatu, can you unmute? How would you like to present your introduction?
Hello.
Hi, Asatu.
Hey, my name is Aisito Sanogo. I'm expecting to be graduating next year around this time. And I'm majoring in healthcare service. The reason why I choose Berkeley because Berkeley is a small school, and also it feels like home. Everybody is welcoming, and it also is willing to help you whenever you need with anything as like you're struggling with. The classes are great. It's not bad. The classes are hour long, but the professors is like amazing. Most of the professors that I have so far are amazing. And I would say the reason why I really choose Berkeley is because I've been to a bigger college before, and I wasn't doing so great. But ever since I came to Berkeley, it was a small school, so I was getting all the attention that I need and all the help that I need, knowing that English was not my first language, and also I'm trying to like know about tab and FAFSA, how to do it on my how to apply for myself, and how to how does it work. So coming to Berkeley really opened up my eyes because they show me a way where the money's going, and how to apply, and like things that we should know as we are thriving through life. So yeah.
That's great. So first of all, I will say I would never have guessed that English was not your first language. You speak very well. I really that's really good. I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
actually, English is my third language.
Your third language. That's so incredible. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Anybody have any thoughts or ideas to offer?
I have one question. So you said you went to another school that was larger. What school did you go to?
I went to hostels.
So I would think about including that. Like you can say you went to a community college or you went to Hostos, just so it gives people reference point. I've seen your schedule, so I know who you're going to be meeting with today. They'll know who Hostos is. So the combination of like where you were to where you are now, I just think that's just another small little detail.
Yes, definitely. I will add that because that's the first college that I went to, and I had struggled really bad. And coming here, it feels so much easier. If I was getting that same treatment over there, then I probably would have been graduated a long time ago. So I wasted so many years being there and not knowing how to get around, how to get certain service until I came to the small school and an environment. Everything was just being handled as it should be and on time. So I'm grateful for that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay.
Donna, could I jump in for a second?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
So everyone has really great stories, and I just, for a little bit of background, a few years ago came from working in the legislature for a member, and being on the other side of the stories, I just want to encourage everybody to share those little details, because those are the things that really stick out, whether it's a staff member or the member themselves is in there. The more personal and comfortable you are, don't go too deep if you don't want to, but whatever you're comfortable sharing, it really is important, and you're your own best advocate. And even just in these quick little synopsis, you've touched on so many things that's important to so many APC members. So just whatever you're comfortable with sharing, please do, because it really is impactful on the other end of the meeting.
Okay. Anybody else want to unmute? How about somebody from Monroe? Christopher, I know we've got two folks on here.
Yep. If either Maya or Mia, if either of you are in a place where you could come off mute and
Hi,
just say a few
everyone.
things.
Hi,
Hi,
Maya.
how are you?
I'm good. How's everyone doing? Um, well, I would first introduce myself. My name is Maya Dikoto. I attend Monroe University. I have been since September of 2023, and I actually expect to graduate this year, June 2026. I am 19 years old and I will be receiving my bachelor's. I actually came to the US from Trinidad and Tobago. I was born and raised over there. And TAP has really helped me. Financial aid, first of all, really helped me. Coming from a country that does not equate to the US dollar, um, it equates 7 to 1. So coming from a country where it is a lot less than $1, it was really hard for us to finance my college journey. And with the help of financial aid, I was able to actually begin attending classes since I was 16. I also was even able to receive help with work study. I am currently a federal work study student employed at the school, and that allows me to be able to pay off my student loans. And the TAP, it just increases my chances of not being in incredible debt after I leave university. But I am studying human services. I am minoring in psychology because I do want to advocate for mental health back in my country and really promote well-being all around. I want to start a firm so that I can assist with the progression of mental health being something of significant importance.
Great. That's great.
Can I ask one question? So given your age and you're going to complete your bachelor's degree, did you do a dual enrollment program or get college credits when you were in high school? Is that one of the reasons that helped you
No.
accelerate? No.
No, so in Trinidad, it actually is typical for people to graduate around the age of 16.
Okay.
I would say 17 or 18 is a bit later on to graduate. Some people do graduate at 17, it's normal, but 18 is a bit late to graduate high school. You can further a high school education there, or you can move into university as soon as you leave high school. But typically, a lot of people, they tend to graduate high school at 16 and begin the working world.
That's great. Thanks.
That's very
Well,
cool.
Maya, I think you were able to probably take advantage of Monroe's accelerated program to be able to get a bachelor's degree in 3 years, right?
I actually, so when I joined, I at first was taking 4 classes. I only recently began taking 5 classes as of last semester. So I will be finishing in the semester to come, the spring semester. But I have not spoken with my advisor about the accelerated program.
But you've been taking classes year round, right?
Yes, yes.
That's what I meant, fall, winter, spring.
Oh,
Where most universities, it's just a fall and a spring. So
I
it
see.
takes students 4 years. So that's one of the things that you certainly could highlight in talking to legislators. Yeah.
Mhm.
Great, thank you. Do you guys have any feedback for the way that I spoke or introduced myself or anything of the sort?
Personally, thought you did a great job, but anybody else want to offer
Yes.
any feedback?
You were
Thank you,
absolutely,
thank you.
you were fabulous. Just
Yeah.
Yes.
keep that same momentum when you're there next week.
Thank you so much.
Exactly. Perfect.
I'm
That's
excited
exactly
to
what
meet
we're
you
looking
all
for.
in person.
Same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Likewise.
All right. We have time for one more. Anybody else want to unmute? Oh, Danny raised his hand. Go ahead, Danny.
Nope, sorry about that. That was an accident.
That's okay. That's all right. How about anybody else? Anybody else want to unmute? No? Can I call on Elma Linda? Would you like to unmute Elma? Oh, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly.
No, you did. Perfect.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Do you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. My name is Elmelinda Barrios. I recently finished the dental hygiene program at Plaza College. And I think where I don't benefit as much from the financial aid, I do see the importance of it through just the students that were in the program with me. There was a lot of single moms. There are families. So I think it's important to keep that going. For me, I love dental hygiene. I love preventative care. I'm super happy to see that Governor Hochul recently signed the legislation for hygienists to work in other facilities. And it's so important because now we can like stretch that net and get people the health care that they need. Preventative care is so important. So that's my focus, I guess, but I guess we can talk about it more in the the meeting that we
So you're an alumni, did I understand that right?
Yeah, I just finished December. So I don't know if that's why it's a little confusing for me. I don't know if it's considered a graduate until I pass my boards. So those are scheduled.
Okay. What are you planning to do? After now that you've at least graduated? Obviously, you're going to take your boards, but where are you planning to work?
So I'm going to jump right into, there is an office that I've worked for many years. I plan on going back there, but I really want to do mobile dentistry and get into the inner cities and help people who don't have any access to care. That's where I really think it needs to be. Hospitals, another great place for dental hygienists. It would reduce the risk of infections at hospitals and senior facilities. There's no senior care or senior dental care. So I'd really like to see, again, Governor Hochul passed that legislation. So I can't wait to see what New York does with this.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
An idea to think about too, just because it's such a unique experience for you, is the time that you had in the dental clinic and serving the population too. Because I think that's like a greater health benefit. And a lot of people don't realize the clinic that Plaza has and the experience that you have while you're going to school there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Definitely mention that.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else want to, or does anybody have any feedback or thoughts or questions for Elmelinda before we move on? You did a great job. That was awesome. Okay.
You did a good job. I have a quick question. Did you guys mention anything important in the very beginning of the meeting? I'm asking because I was trying to log in, but I kept getting kicked out of the meeting. Thank you.
Sure. We basically just talked about the logistics for next week in the very beginning. Are you planning to come to Albany next week?
What was that?
Are you planning to come to Albany next week for the Advocacy Day?
Yeah, I'm already on board with it.
I thought so. Okay, great. Yeah, so we really just talked about the logistics, but I think if you connect with Heather, and I know Sherelle as well, your institutional liaison, they'll be able to answer any questions for you about travel or hotel logistics, that kind of thing.
All right, thank you.
Yes, and as I said, this was recorded. We'll edit it just a touch, but and then it'll be up on the Student Leadership Council website later for folks to take a look at if they want to. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? Everybody excited to come to Albany next week? Yay? Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, we're very much looking forward to seeing you. In the meantime, if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to reach out to me or talk to your institutional liaison if you have any questions about travel or or any questions. I mean, honestly, the institutional liaisons have been doing this for a really long time, so they're very familiar with everything we're doing and what to expect. So feel free to reach out to them, reach out to myself. But we're looking forward to seeing you all. Get some good sleep. Think about what it is that you want to say when you're in your ledge meeting, some key talking points, and come prepared on Tuesday. We'll walk through everything we just walked through in a lot more detail on Tuesday. You will all get your schedules and who you're meeting with on Tuesday when we get there. Honestly, these schedules change a lot, which is why we're not sharing them with you earlier. There will likely be changes right up to the last minute. So we will be giving you your schedules when you arrive on Tuesday. And like I said, in the meantime, if you think of anything else or have any other questions, just let us know. So with that, I will give you back the last 9 minutes of our hour, and looking forward to seeing everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.